Hey, I'm Amanda Vernon. Welcome to Word for the Week. In this episode, I'd like to share how I felt the Lord speaking to me in Mass this past weekend, explore what I think the Lord might be calling me to do about the word He's giving me, and then ask how my word for the week might apply to your life as well. So this past weekend, I attended Mass in the San Francisco Bay Area at this beautiful, very vibrant parish. They have 6 weekend masses, just like all of the masses are full. It's just a huge place, and there are families and people of all ages, and I've been there a number of times, so it was awesome to be back. I used to live close by for a couple of years, so it just felt like going home in many ways. Plus my best friend, Father Matt, who wrote my book with me. We wrote a book together. It's our book. Anyway, he's my co-author. He was preaching the homily, and it was awesome to be there and to feel so at home even when I was on tour. So during Mass, the words that stood out to me were not in any of the readings. It wasn't part of the psalm. It was right away in the opening song. Now, this song is one that I would say is not my favorite per se. It's not one that necessarily lifts my soul in an emotional sort of prayer. I'm not going to say the title of the song, but that line that stood out to me is gold that's tested in fire. And this is one of those where I heard it and I thought, no, that's not the word for me. But yet it just kept resonating. Those words kind of kept replaying in my mind as the Mass went along, gold that's tested in fire. And I got a little nervous, what could that mean for this upcoming week? Well, after Mass concluded, I had a merchandise table outside in the courtyard, so people bought CDs and books. I signed it for them, I met them, I invited them to the concert, and then I had some time to talk with the youth minister of the parish. And I was explaining, I feel that the Lord is asking me in ministry to be more vulnerable, to let go of my concept of being very polished on stage, of having everything sort of perfect and never ever losing my composure and just being professional to the point where I don't even feel any emotion. And as I was kind of talking through this about vulnerability, the music director of the parish walked up, Paul. And Paul said to me, he's like, what are you guys talking about? And I filled him in on this vulnerability. And he said, that's gold right there. And I looked at him and he said, not to monetize this. And I laughed and I realized he was echoing for me that word that stood out to me from the song, gold that's tested in fire. I mentioned before on one of my episodes this phrase, God speaks your language. And the language in which I consistently hear the Lord speaking to me, it's specific words and symbols. So the specific word, gold, and then this symbol was Paul himself. He works in the secular music industry. He's a very seasoned entertainer and musician, and he works for the church and leads people in song and prayer. And so the fact that he could affirm this for me, that it's important to be vulnerable, to allow myself to grow into this new phase in not only my career but my ministry, that was so symbolic to me, and especially that he used that same word. As I pray about how my word for the week might relate with your life as you're watching, the story comes to mind of Daniel in the lion's den. The image that comes to my memory is from a children's Bible when I was younger, and there's Daniel, and there's all these massive lions with their huge manes, and they're kind of standing, and some of them are just lying down, and there's this sunlight coming from above this pit that Daniel's in, streaming down from the ground level. I'm just thinking about this story and how, Daniel was thrown into the lion's den with these hungry lions, and of course, he's gonna die, right? Everybody knows he's gonna die, and yet he doesn't, and the lions are, docile to him. And so I think that in that story is this lesson of trusting God, even when the circumstances would say that things are not going to work out well. And as I'm thinking about gold that's tested in fire, going through fire, that doesn't sound like I'm gonna come out on the other side doing too well. And yet I feel the Lord is really calling me to trust him in the midst of that. For me, that's being vulnerable, especially on stage. And so for you, maybe there's something in your life that feels like insurmountable right now, or you look at it and think like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this situation and come out unscathed. And yet I'll just encourage you to join me in a prayer for wisdom, that God would allow us to see his hand working in that situation in our lives. Maybe we won't be able to figure out like what he's up to or how this is going to turn out well, but just realizing that he is acting in our lives and asking for that faith to be able to trust more. I think there's really comfort in that. So I hope that you'll join me, and I hope to see you next week on Word for the Week. This episode is made possible by my patrons. Their support empowers me to share my experience of God and the church and to feed my family at the same time. So thanks to new patrons. There's so many this week, and it makes me want to cry from joy and gratitude. So let me see if I can get all of these names. Cynthia Richards Salvador, Jessica Irene Ricardo, Chiquita, Deacon Tim and Lily, and Brian. I'm so grateful. I feel like not only are you allowing me to continue in this ministry with my husband, like to support our kids and to share the good news, but also it's just really a confirmation that at this new juncture in our ministry, when we're going full time with evangelization, that there's this support that's growing, and it just means the world to us. So if you'd like to become a patron, or if you'd like to make a one-time donation, you can click on the link below. You can also subscribe to my channel. You can like, share, or comment on this video to help us reach even more people.